Whoa. Don't go out and buy another house until you watch this video. If you're not careful, you can get taken advantage of as a buyer. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 tips that are going to help you drastically to get the best deal possible. Let's roll that intro video. Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Welcome to Real Estate Talk BR. I'm Zach Garcia. This is my channel. I appreciate everyone so far who has subscribed, who has liked my videos. I've gotten some questions. I love doing that, love interacting with the community. So if you have any questions going forward, please feel free to always drop a question down in the comments. I definitely will review them. I try to look at them daily and answer them. So in this video today, I'm going to give you guys 7 tips as home buyers. This is not necessarily for first-time home buyers or for existing buyers. This is just going to be for buyers in general. So there are going to be 7 tips to help you get the best deal possible you can when buying a house. So this is not geared towards the investors. If you want to learn more about investing, buying and selling, whatnot, I'm going to link a playlist down in the description where I got a ton of videos that will help you with investing. So without further ado, let's get into the first tip. So tip number 1 is you want to find the right loan program for you. There's going to be a ton of options out there. You got things like conventional loans, FHA, rural development. They all offer different down payments, but you need to find the right one for you. Not everyone can afford a 20% down payment. Not everyone is going to qualify for a rural development loan, which is 0%, but they have income qualifications. So you got to find the right loan that is for you and for your situation. So making sure you have the right loan and making sure you work with a financial planner or advisor is always a benefit. Working with a good CPA is definitely huge because you want to be able to budget correctly, budget for your house. You want to make sure that you're not overspending because that's a part of finding the best deal possible, is making sure that the loan fits your needs. So if you can afford it, a conventional loan is the best. It's 20% down, but it will save you on some mortgage insurance, which banks use to help protect their investment of giving you a loan. So they do charge you a fee until you hit that 20% down. So if you can, you'll avoid that, which is great. You'll definitely save money there, and that will lead to the best deal. So a part of this first tip is also finding a good lender, finding the right lender. So shop around. Don't just go to one lender, stick with them, and don't go to shop around. Shopping around different lenders within the loan program that you want is highly advisable. You'll potentially find lower rates, maybe even you won't have as many fees. Whatever the case is, shop around for the best lender. Tip number 2. Making sure your credit score is as good as possible is key. The difference between someone having 670, 680 credit score and maybe 780 can be 1, 2, who knows, even 3% difference in interest rate, which could be hundreds and hundreds of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, over the life of the loan. All right, so here's a good example. I wrote something down that I thought I'd share just to give you guys a good example. So let's say you pay $300,000 for a house. Let's say you put 3.5% down, which is FHA, it's a typical 30-year loan. But let's say you have not so good credit. You're just barely able to meet the requirements to get the FHA loan. You have enough income, but let's say your credit is bad and you're just barely able to make it, and they hit you with an interest rate of 8%, which is definitely something that could happen today. Your mortgage payment, including the principal and interest and insurance and taxes, you're looking right around $2,400 a month. But on the other hand, someone who has a good credit score with the exact same house, same term, everything, let's say they're able to get a really good interest rate of 6.8%. That's a pretty good rate for right now. The difference, they're only paying $2,100 a month. Now you're saying, okay, $300 a month, that's substantial. Not terrible, but it's substantial. That's $3,600 a year. And if you never refinance, and let's say there's 2 separate people who buy the same house and they live out the life of the loan, they never refi, they never do anything, they just pay it on time every month for 30 years, the person with the bad credit score is going to end up paying about $108,000 more over the course of 30 years. I don't know about y'all, but that's a lot of money to me. All right, so tip number 3 is always get a home inspection. This can lead to a deal that you may think be good, and it can end up turning really bad. Let's say you end up forgoing a home inspection, you don't get it, and maybe 6 months down the road, something major happens that could have been caught in a home inspection. Well, you could easily spend $10,000, $20,000 on repairing your house if you're not careful because you didn't get a home inspection. So another way this can help you get a better deal is, let's say you get the inspection done, right? And the inspector comes back and says, hey, there's, X, Y, and Z wrong with the property. Maybe only one thing is of big concern. The other two are just kind of, not really too terrible. Well, you could easily say to the seller, hey, look, there's this wrong with it. I want the house lowered by X amount of dollars to compensate. I want more money towards closing. Whatever the case is, this could easily help you save thousands of dollars on closing costs and or the actual price of the home. Okay, so before we go any further to tip number 4, something else that is gonna definitely help you guys get a better deal on the house is, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. No, I'm just playing with you guys. You don't have to do all that to get a better deal. But seriously, it does help out the channel quite a bit. If you guys like it, maybe you comment down below what's one of your favorite tips you got from this video, subscribing to the channel. All that stuff definitely helps us grow and helps us get good content out to you guys. So moving on to tip number 4, this is pretty important too, is actually having a good agent. You'll find that this tip comes up quite a bit in a lot of my videos about having a good agent for various different reasons. And here's how it's going to help you get a better deal. So agents have access to the MLS. For those of you who don't know, the MLS is the multiple listing service. The local board puts out something for the agents to use where we can list houses for sale. We can see what's available, rentals, whatnot. But that allows us to do things like run comps. So we can get the house that you like. We can look at how much they're selling it for. And we can say, okay, is it actually worth that? Are there comps in the area that validate that home price? So having a good agent that knows how to run comps, that can get very close to what an actual appraiser is going to say the house is worth, is so important. It could easily help you from overpaying for a house by $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even more. So something that I hear from potential buyers, which is kind of interesting, is they say, well, I don't want to have to pay the commission for the agent. Look, if you're a buyer and you get an agent, you will never have to pay your agent a commission. That agent gets a commission from the seller, not from the buyer. So please, if you're a buyer, and I know if you have anything against agents, I understand there's a lot of bad ones out there, but there's a lot of great agents out there that love helping people find houses. So get yourself a good agent. All right, so tip number 5 is checking to see how long that house has been on the market. This can be amazing details to help you get a better deal on a house. So let's say, for example, you have a house that you're looking at. It has not been on the market very long. Your agent calls you and say, hey, look, this house has a lot of offers. Do you want to put in an offer? That could be a telltale sign that, someone's probably about to overpay for that house. Someone's going to offer them something that could, help the seller. The seller's going to take it. Maybe they'll waive the inspection, or they'll pay $10,000 over asking price or something crazy. But don't you be that person. Don't go out and turn a potential good deal into a bad deal by overpaying for a house. That is the number 1 rule that I will never, ever sway from, and that is overpaying for a house. So on the flip side, let's say a house has been sitting for a very long time. Well, if you have a good agent, like we discussed in tip number 4, they'll be able to kind of tell you what the average days on market is for your area. If the average days on market is 20 days and this house has been sitting there for 50 days, 60 days, well, that could tell you a lot about that house. Maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe it's overpriced. There could be a ton of problems with it, and having a good agent, they'll be able to research that for you. And what they can do is they can say, hey, look, you like this house, it's in a pretty good area. It's just overpriced by about 20 grand. So let's go to them. We'll have our pre-approval letter ready. We'll have proof of funds if you're paying cash. Whatever the case is, you're going to be 100% ready to go and sign papers. Your agent can go to the seller's agent and say, hey, I got my client, they're ready to go. I've run comps, the house is not worth this much, it's worth this. Look, let's make a deal. That you have no offers, clearly, let's make this happen. And if you have a good agent, they can at least present it in such a way where the other person has to at least consider it. So tip number 6 is, I love this tip. It's when I was writing this and I was really thinking about tips. I thought about this tip number 6 because it is definitely important. So don't rush into buying a house. If you're not ready and you have bad credit, you really are just barely getting the down payment together and everything's just not fitting perfectly, you could end up hurting yourself. You could end up, and that's part of getting the best deal possible, is making sure you have the best interest rate you could get. Because if it's only going to take you another maybe 2 or 3 months to get your credit right, and now you have great credit and you can be saving hundreds of dollars a month, do that. That is a part of getting the best deal. So don't rush into a house. Rushing into a house could easily make you spend more money than you actually want to. Don't put yourself in a financial bind or a financial situation if you don't need to. So tip number 7, final tip. This one is not necessarily for first-time home buyers. It can be, but this tip is going to be kind of more specific to those who already have a house and they're thinking of potentially selling and buying another house. If you can, potentially, when you go to buy a house, wait for a buyer's market. So if you can wait for a buyer's market and you can get into the market when it's good for a buyer, you could save thousands of dollars on a potential purchase. Let's say you get into a seller's market and there's a house you like. Well, they could easily jack up the price by $10,000, $20,000, maybe even more, and they can validate it because people are buying it. But in a buyer's market, that house could potentially be worth that $20,000 to $30,000 less because it's not so inflated. So I am a firm believer that if you can save as much money as you can initially when you're doing a loan, it's going to help you out in the long run. If you can do something to better your interest rate, if you can do something to lower the price of the house, if you can do something to help you with closing costs, whatever the case is, if you can do it before you get the loan, I would highly recommend that you all do it. So thank you everyone for watching this video today. I hope you got some good information out of this. If you can, leave a comment down below of which tip was your favorite. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. If you want some more tips specifically about buying and selling for investment properties, I'm going to put that playlist down in the description below. But if you just want some more general tips for residential buying and selling, click right here.